Imagine a pain so sharp it feels like a lightning bolt is trying to exit through your jawbone, but you are standing in a forest 40,000 years ago with no ibuprofen and no 24-hour dentist. You are trapped in a survival event where the only thing louder than the rain is the throbbing in your skull, and suddenly the way you perceive time begins to warp. To understand how our ancestors survived the agony of a toothache and why your modern office feels like a slow-motion prison, we have to look at how we've rewired the human brain. For most of human history, a medical crisis, like an abscessed tooth, wasn't just a personal problem. It was a threat to the group's survival infrastructure. If you were a tracker or a firekeeper and you were incapacitated by pain, the entire tribe became fragile. But here is the thing. They didn't just leave you to suffer. The sources indicate that ancient groups thrived because they were ecosystems of different minds, including specialists who acted as living libraries for medicinal knowledge. While the sources do not specifically detail dental procedures, they reveal that ancient humans used sophisticated, inhaled medicine. In Egypt and India, thousands of years ago, people treated internal ailments by inhaling smoke from heated herbs that possessed genuine pharmacological properties. This trial and error prehistoric style allowed them to deliver medicine directly to the system. A toothache would have been met with the same environmental intelligence used to survive endless rain, identifying the specific bark or plant that could dull the nerves. However, the most fascinating part of surviving ancient pain isn't the medicine, it's the psychological time perception. In the wild, your brain is reading the environment continuously, tracking the smell of rain and the behavior of insects. This environmental literacy keeps your mind in a state of high-stakes presence. But today, we've built a modern machine of open-plan offices and fluorescent lights designed for flexible generalists. In this environment, we have outsourced our awareness to technology, and the result is a phenomenon called time blindness. When you are in an office doing routine-induced work, your brain stops reading signals because there are no stakes. Without a sensory sentinel input of the natural world, your perception of time either collapses into a blur or stretches into routine-induced boredom. We mistake being bad at fitting into the specific world we happen to build for being fundamentally broken. But the truth is that your brain is simply starved for the high ground decision-making it was evolved for. Our ancestors survived the toothache because they lived in a world where noticing the tiny thing was a survival weapon. They weren't failed versions of normal people. They were specialists who understood that reliability isn't a small thing when the alternative is death. Your time blindness at work isn't a glitch. It's your ancient, systemizing brain realizing it has nothing meaningful to track in a cubicle. The next time you feel stuck in a meeting where every minute feels like an hour, remember that you are a deep-sea creature trying to survive in a desert. You weren't built for the endless small talk of the modern world. You were built to be the early warning system for the tribe. If you want to reclaim your focus and escape the routine-induced boredom of the modern workspace, you need to start reading the sky again. Find the special interest that demands your obsessive, joyful intensity and lean into it. The tribe still needs the specialist who sees differently. So stop trying to be a social butterfly and start being the keeper of the methods. Note on sources. While the provided sources offer extensive details on ancient survival regarding fire, rain, smoking as medicine, and the specialist mind, they do not contain specific mentions of toothaches or routine-induced boredom in the workplace. These concepts were synthesized by applying the source's logic regarding environmental literacy and the modern machine to your specific query.